Hey everyone, my name is Carrie and I am the founder of Team Awaken. I have been asked quite a few times recently how I got started in the coaching business. And, um, you know, I just wanted to share my story here on this call and take a few minutes to do that. So, um, a little backstory here. I have always been an athlete. I was very, very involved with basketball and soccer, and I also played volleyball. Um, very, very competitive in basketball and soccer. Um, I went to high school. I played all of those sports, and that is what consumed my high school career. Okay. The reason why it consumed my high school career was not only because I loved it, but it was also because I wanted more than anything to play college basketball. And I'm the first person in my family to go to college. And so we really didn't know and understand, what all it took to get to college and what happens, when it's time to get enrolled and, anything about loans or anything of that sort. Loans were not an option for me. I, you know, I would have rather, at this time, it was probably better to just not go to college and, instead of taking out loans to go to college. So basketball was my driving point. I wanted to do what I loved in college, and that was play basketball and get a full ride scholarship somewhere. Well, after all of those years of hard work, my senior year comes along and I tore my ACL, MCL, and meniscus. And I was determined to get back and play before the basketball season. I was late to the basketball season. I took 3 months to recover, which was way too quick, but we thought I was ready at this time. And running backwards on the basketball court, it happened all over again. So here I was, midway through my senior year, having my second ACL surgery on the same knee, and a whole bunch of schools gave up on me. A whole bunch of schools pretended like they never talked to me, and it was crushing to me. It was crushing. So with that said, I still ended up getting a scholarship. It was not a full ride scholarship, so I still had to find the money to pay for that little bit amount that was not paid for. So I went ahead, went to school, played college basketball, but the problem was my knee for me was just not the same. It was not the same knee that I had playing all of those years. So it just became more of a hard time to play the sport that I love because my mindset was all screwed up because of my physical incapabilities and kind of the way it felt. It just hurt. And so I just kind of went into a downward spiral. Okay. I ended up moving back with my parents, going back to the town that I grew up in, living with them, and finishing school out there. On the plus side, I didn't have to take out loans because I worked my booty off to pay for school while I wasn't playing college anymore. But I figured out that it was possible. Okay. Continuing on, I ended up meeting my husband. We had 2 kids, and my son, when he was 6 months old, we found out that he was born with a diaphragmatic hernia. And, here I was, the most blessed mom in the world, so happy. I got my 2 babies, my boy, my girl, and I was on top of the world. I had it all. I had the perfect husband. I had the perfect babies. We were living life just fine, not struggling financially. We were doing what we love. My husband and I both teaching, and everything was great until we found out that my son had this issue. He had part of his lower organs up in his chest cavity, and when that happened, basically what it meant was he had a hole in his diaphragm. So when that happens and the lower organs are up in the chest cavity, things like partial lung development or issues with hearts tend to happen, and every single situation is different. So that's just kind of it in a nutshell. Luckily, he was born with lungs that were developed, and I guess I shouldn't say luckily. I should say thank God. He was miraculously born with lungs that were developed. So he was able to breathe on his own for those 6 months that we didn't know that this was going on. He did have issues up until that point, which were concerning to us. So finally we went in one night when he was 6 months old and asked for an x-ray. We asked for an x-ray, and that is when they found it. Parental instinct at its finest. We had, all these concerns, addressed it, been told different things, and finally one night we said, we need an x-ray. And the doctor gave us an x-ray, and that's when, about 2 a.m, the doctor came in and said, we are sending you to the local children's hospital to have surgery today. And that's when my world shattered. That is when my world was turned upside down. I had no idea what any of this meant. I had no idea, why or what this was going to entail. I was just helpless mom. And I'm very much a person that likes to take control of things and be preventative of anything, or, be 2 steps ahead. And with this situation, I was helpless. So we ended up having surgery that day. This was in April of that year. And we went home, and sure enough, a few months later, all the issues started coming back again. Well, what happened was his dissolvable sutures that were used to close up his diaphragm after things were pushed down to where they belong, they came back open. So here we were in a situation where he had to have another surgery. Well, in the second surgery, they used permanent sutures, and he was developing abscesses and things like that. So he had to go in for a third surgery to have, it was more of a minor surgery, the third one, but like the abscess removed. And sure enough, they just kept coming back, and we had to go in for a fourth surgery to completely take out those sutures. So long story short, I had hit rock bottom, and after the second surgery, I decided, I was in the shower every single day. That was my thinking time, and I just broke down all the time. And I got to the point where I needed to do something for myself, because I felt like when I looked at myself, it wasn't the person that I wanted to see in the mirror. And when that happens, I thought of my children and what they deserve as a mother. So I decided, a friend had told me about the 21-day fix, and, I simply got started on it because it was something that I could do to be active and not leave my children. Because what he was going through, the last thing I wanted to do was leave. And then after I was teaching all day, the last thing I wanted to do was spend more time away from both of my kids. So I had a lot of guilt built up. And this was possible for me. My husband wanted me to get out of this funk. He wanted me to feel better about myself. He wanted me to feel better about life. And so I took a chance on myself. I took a trust fall. And what I did was I started the 21-day fix. And sure enough, I found out that I love it. I love it simply because it's different every single day. I love it because it was making me feel so much better every single day, so much stronger, have so much more energy as a mom. And ultimately, what it ended up becoming was not just a physical transformation after I had lost about 40 pounds in 4.5 months. It became an emotional transformation for me. I was able to break through these mental and emotional barriers and realize that, I needed to be the best mom I could be for them. And sitting around moping and crying every single day and being depressed and struggling to care for them the way that they deserve was no longer an option. And it became so much more than just that physical transformation. So that is why I started coaching. What it has done for me has made me, I started out feeling selfish for taking care of myself. Then it became something where I know for a fact I would be selfish if I was not helping other busy moms, other other moms like me, other women like me, other people like me not live to their full potential and not be able to take care of their kids the way that their kids deserve to be taken care of because mom is at her tip top shape. And yeah, I don't mean that I'm like in the perfect shape that I want to be in. My journey continues. My journey will always continue. But the thing is, I have found the tools that will help me succeed, and I can no longer sit back and not share that with others. So that is why I became a coach. And it has, not only taught me that investing in myself will, turn into something amazing, but, pursuing this coaching business will also be life-changing as well. I went into the business thinking, I'm just going to make enough to pay for my shakes, so it's not coming out of pocket because we had ridiculous medical bills. And then my husband drank the shakes too, so it became, okay, I'm going to pay for my shakes, I'm going to pay for his shakes as well. So because of that, it just kind of lit a fire under me to make things not only happen for myself, but happen for other people, and then end up happening for my family. So we were about $15,000 in debt, most of it from medical bills. And within my first year of coaching, I was able to pay off about $12,000 of that and take my family on 2 different vacations and myself pay for our Beachbody Summit trip. So it became something that, at one time, with both 2 hardworking people, we were pretty much living paycheck to paycheck, and we were, because of these medical bills and things like that, we were having to, towards the end of the month, take out money from our savings account that we, in order to pay for groceries. And that is not how I wanted to live. Nobody deserves to live that way. But the thing is, like I said, I've always, when I set my heart towards something, I go for it. And through my personal development that was introduced to me in coaching, it's one of our vital behaviors. Every single day, listen or read something that helps build you as a person internally as you take care of yourself externally through the workouts and things like that. But along with the internal benefits of eating healthy, it's also about mind strength. And that's what personal development does for you. And it has taught me, yes, I have always been a go-getter, but I'm only reaching this much of my potential. And so now the sky's the limit. And I now want to pay that forward. So now I have coaches that are coming to me saying, oh my goodness, we had this tournament for my kids and I was able to pay for the whole weekend without even dipping into any of our savings or having to use any of the money that we should be using for groceries or for our bills. And that is the power of what coaching does. So I can't tell you enough how amazing this has been for not only me, but for my family, and now that it's being paid forward to others. And I would love to share that journey with you and help train you. If you would like to join my team, it's called Team Awaken, and we have spots open for new coaches. We have a new coach training coming up very, very soon, and I would love for you to be traveling the world with me and bringing out the not only best physical you, but the best emotional, the best mental, and financial you, but to help build your mindset to reach your complete full potential. So please reach out to me and join my team. We can talk and we can make things happen and build amazing lives together. So thanks for listening. And I appreciate you listening to my story especially. And I hope you all have an awesome day, and I can't wait to hear from you.